Hi, welcome back to my channel, La Fraise. I'm Noémie. I'm a student in costume making in Brussels, and this is a new month. It's Sunday night, and I was today at a costume, how do you call that? In French, we call this a costume attic, and it's literally a storage place that has a lot of costumes, and we went for Kinky Boots to pick up some costumes that basically we borrow and then we can give back, and that allows the play to not have to buy a ton of costumes that we wouldn't know what to do with afterwards. It was quite a drive away. I got so car sick. I kind of slept a bit in the car because that helps with not feeling too car sick, but I still came home and felt queasy for quite a while, and didn't feel better for a long while. Just had dinner, feel a bit better now, but still whoa, hate feeling car sick. It's really not fun, but costumes have been acquired. And the reason why I'm chatting with you guys is that Francesca is away for work all week. And so I'm going to be fully alone. So, I have the dog somewhere down there. I'm fully alone, so to not feel lonely, I'm going to chat with you guys. And what I'm doing tonight is finishing to edit tomorrow's video. It's mostly done. I really just have the last 10 minutes or something, 10 minutes of footage, so it's not 10 minutes of video. So I'm going to finish this and then clean up and kind of get the apartment set up to start the week. And then tomorrow morning I'm starting with a nice little swim. I'm going to a swimming pool. I have to go to the town hall afterwards because I have blocked my ID card. It's super frustrating, but you get a paper with your ID card pin, and I had kept the latest paper and the paper beforehand and I didn't realize, so I was trying to put the wrong pin and I blocked my ID card, so I need to go and unlock that. I hope that I won't have to pay for it. Fingers crossed. So that's tomorrow. Basically, as Francesca won't be there next week, I'm planning to sew like a machine. I have a ton of sewing I want to get done. I also have a lot of videos I want to get done. The amount of videos I want to pre-film and schedule before leaving for Japan is intense. Also because I really want to have quite a few weeks done for once I'm back from Japan. So that's my week. A lot of sewing, filming, and then in the evening I'm going to edit. I'm kind of thinking maybe film first thing and then sew in the afternoon and then edit in the evening, because when Francesca's there, obviously I'm trying to be present and spend time with her in the evening, but here she's not there, so I can go from one thing to the next and get a lot done this week. Have to say, with feeling queasy, something I already touched on, but we have a bit of ventilation issues in our apartment, and our neighbors smoke and we get the smoke back into our apartment. It needs to be fixed at some point, obviously. But at the moment, it also really smells like smoke in here. And when you're already feeling nauseous, it's not helping. So fun times. I'll try to open the window a little bit more, but there was thunder just before, so I had closed it. Try to reopen the window so I don't get smoked in. I'll edit my video and I'll see how much I pick up the camera this week. At least I do have very, very good moral support. No personal space. There is all this couch that he could be on. No, he needs to be right there. And I'm not really complaining. Obviously love when he's near me, but no space. No space for me, huh? Oh my god, yes, scooting closer. It's true that I didn't have enough contact on my entire leg. So cute. A little update from Sunday morning. I am on the couch with a very wet dog. We went to play with the ball, but it was raining so bad. I tried to wait for a moment when it wouldn't rain too bad. And that lovely bunch here smells like a wet dog. It's not super agreeable as a diffuser smell, but we love him. So what do you want? Swimming went really well this morning. It's the summer holidays now in Belgium, and I didn't know if there would be school camps at the pool or whatever, if it would be more busy, but it was actually really nice. Normally when Francesca's there, we go and grab breakfast afterwards, and here I went to the town hall to get my ID card unlocked. So doing that instead of breakfast, I was pretty hungry, but luckily it went fairly quickly. So good morning got my admin done, got my swimming done. Now I'm going to film a little bit and then I'm going to sew this afternoon. Very random thought, but I'm getting such a bad rash from, I believe, my mascara. I mean, on my eyes I put only mascara and a little bit of eyeliner under my eye. And I change it very frequently, you know, I don't keep it like past the Best By date or anything, but have very sensitive skin and sensitive everything, and yeah, I get rashes easily, but I really get like super bad rashes under my eye here when I put on makeup. If anyone has a good recommendation for a waterproof mascara, because I also, due to sensitive skin and eyes, if I go outside I start crying straight away. So I can't do non-waterproof mascara because with the crying I look like a panda by the time I arrive where I'm going. So if you guys know a waterproof mascara that is very, very gentle for like sensitive eyes, I am all ears, because it's starting to be a bit annoying. So today I'm filming makeup free because my poor little eye needed a break. I woke up and I was like, I'm going to do my run before lunch today. And you know what? I know this game. If I don't do it first thing or like just after taking Milo out, it's not happening. I know it. Who do I think I am that after I start sewing, I'm going to go for a run? It never ever happens. I'm like, oh, I'll do it in the afternoon. I'll just do it after dinner. I'll do it just before bed. No, I'm not going to do it just before bed. So I was very tempted to push my run, but I know that if I push it, it's not happening. So going to be brave. Just had my breakfast. I'm having my tea now, and I'll take Milo out. And as soon as he's back in with me, I do my physio exercises and then I go for my run. It's been going well. Physio is happy with me, and I'm also very happy. I'm happy and I'm a bit surprised. I'm like, everything's going well. Like, suspicious. Like, my body never plays nice, so I'm like, But so far so good. So I'm really excited. Today, I was hoping I would start my sewing project, and I'm not, because I'm going to do the 4th 12 for my drag queen outfit. I can't believe I'm still making 12 for this, but I really want the fitting that's coming to be good, and I decided I'm going to do an extra 12. I swear I've literally posted my video about school and my school Q&A, and I have received my grade. I had first called to ask what was up, and they had said you passed, but they didn't give me any details. I resent an email this week to be like, I still haven't received any letter. My poor postman, like when I see him, I'm really like, nothing. So they scanned the letter for me and they send it per mail, and they want to know the tea. I'm very, very pleased with my grade first, like very, very happy. I should maybe become an accountant because I got full marks in accounting, and I also got full marks in history of costume, which is unsurprising. As I have said a lot, I really enjoy history of costume, so a right one to have full marks for. I think that's the only two. Let me quickly check. Yeah, that's the only two, but I've also done really, really well in law. So, you know, maybe I'm just not on the right track actually. And just marks I'm also very proud of, but not full marks, is technical drawing. I'm very happy with what I've done there, and it is something I quite like. It's very methodical and follow the technique and stuff, so I'm quite happy. And also in patterning, and I'm very happy. This was quite a stressful exam, and I'm so happy I have a good grade in that one. So fun times. It's nice to get good grades. So in the end, it's like sewing is one of my worst grades. It's not a bad grade by any means, not at all. I still have 83% in sewing, but that's amongst my worst grades. So maybe I should become an accountant. I'm obviously joking. You can imagine that the level of accounting we're doing is quite low because it's just accounting so that you can have your own business. But yeah, it's nice to have my grade. It's nice that they're very good, and I thought I would share that with you guys. I can also share that I have done my run this morning. It was good. I don't know if this is reasonable or if I've totally lost the plot, but I'm considering buying a pack of 40 rolls of tracing paper, and it's just because it's so expensive and I buy them individually at the haberdashery. It's €8 a roll, and if I buy 40, it's going to come at $3.25 a roll, which is much cheaper. And I do go through a lot of tracing paper, but how many years is 40 rolls going to take to use up? I don't know. I don't know if it's reasonable or if it's too much, but at the same time, it's so expensive. It frustrates me. I don't know. I don't know if I've lost the plot or what. Oh my gosh, I have finished all of my t-shirts. Happy days. This is such a good feeling to have finally finished them all. Now I'm in a mild panic because one, my sewing machine is playing up, and never missing an opportunity to panic. I'm like, what if it dies? Can I like make it work for a few more months? And what about school? Blah blah. Like taking into account it's probably fine. I'm going to check that it's clean and everything, but like, you know, like as soon as there's something, I'm like straight into panic mode and what am I going to do, and we're gonna die. And then also my computer's playing up, which is like at the moment, I'm literally like, you have to picture, I'm generally filming in the morning, sewing all afternoon, editing in the evening, that every single day, and I'm like churning videos to have them scheduled for summer and also for September because I do want to be a little bit ahead. But so my computer dying now, like it's not charging, so it's charging. So there's 4 ports in my computer. Only one of them is still working and letting my computer charge. And if I'm doing anything on the computer, it stops charging. So it charges only when I'm doing nothing with it, which is just like not really convenient. It's absolutely not the right timing. The computer or the machine, like this should not die. Let's focus on, I finished the last t-shirt, so it feels good. 17 t-shirts later, so that's 16 that are in the video, the Toronto that didn't make it in the video, and then I also made the 2 Estelle tops. They're not t-shirts, but the construction was very similar. So yeah, almost 20 knits done just now. I'm happy that I have reached the end, feels good. Never again. I have a couple of books to show you. Early this month, I had something to celebrate. I will tell you at the end of August what it is, so the suspense won't be very long for you guys. I had something to celebrate, and I thought I would celebrate with a couple of pattern books. Also because I thought they would actually be useful, so it's not only a treat, it's also kind of makes sense. So I'm trying to organize them and to see in what order I'm showing everything. So I'm going to start with a classic, and this is Pattern Making for Fashion Design, the 5th edition by Helen Joseph Armstrong, and this is a classic book. It is a happy 900 pages, so it's a small Bible basically. I got this because I got chatting with Nuria from the YouTube channel Noriamo, and we actually, thank you again for whoever mentioned her in the comments. Yeah, someone mentioned her on the Discord. I watch her channel, now we chat here and there, and I have loved her video on contouring. I will put it in the description down below because I think if you are interested in pattern making, this is such a game changer. And I was like, okay, it's nice to have a video, but it's also annoying to have to reference a video every time I want to use contouring in my pattern making. And I was like, Nuria, where did you get that information from? Because I already have resources on pattern making and I have never seen this, so where's your information from? And she said, Helen. It's a good old Helen who gave her the information. So what I did, this book can be quite expensive. Basically, it was between like 70 and 120 euros depending on the edition. I found this one on Amazon for 30 euros. I normally do not buy on Amazon. For my values, I prefer to avoid Amazon, but in this case, the book was so expensive and I was like, well, the Amazon version is so cheap. You can feel what it's cheap. The cover is like, you know, it's a soft cover. It's printed on really thin paper, like it really, it feels a bit dangerously thin. And I don't know if this book is going to be able to last through a lot of use. Also, I know that a lot of pattern books tend to have ring binding so that you can open them fully flat. You'll see some of the ones here are like that. And this one isn't, but I thought I'm buying quite a few books. This one was an extra because Nuria recommended it and I wanted to have it for the contouring part. So I was like, I'll just get the cheap one of Amazon for this once, and if in 10 years it's totally battered and dead, then I'll buy the expensive one then. Or I was like, I kind of wanted this one now, but I can keep an eye for a second-hand edition in the future, and if you're not in a rush to get it, then you can just look around and see if one day it pops up somewhere. So all that to say, I got an extremely cheap version of this book, which is nice because otherwise this book is pretty expensive. I already really like, so I have just flicked through it. I really like how the designs are done. It's, you know, I really realize for having a lot of those books now, it really needs to click with your brain, and the way she explains works for me. So I'm really excited. Oh, here, this is the contouring. Yay! I'm very excited to get started into this. Love this, love this. I'm so excited. It's kind of, see, it's like this printing. Can you see there? There's like, can you see there? There's like printing stains. The top came and was kind of like all dirty and stuff, but I mean, you get what you pay for, I assume. I'm very excited to get into this. I'm planning, like kind of all the other ones, to read it back to front, kind of like slowly, obviously. But I do like to read once through them, and then, you know, the knowledge kind of like comes in, but then obviously to reference them when needed. But I do like to have looked through the whole book first. So yeah, very, very excited to look through this book here. It looks like it's going to be right up my alley, and it's such a classic. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. Oh my god, I need to stay focused on you guys. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know about this. I feel like I'm going to be able to learn so much. Yes, yes. Okay, I need to not get distracted by sleeves, because this is what I have just opened now. And what's happening in my life right now, what I'm patterning for the drag queen I'm dressing at the moment, it's not really working at the sleeve, so I'm like, can't wait to look into this and maybe find solutions. So this is the first one. Let's keep moving on, Noémie, you're talking way too long. Then I bought this book, which is also pretty well known. It's the Fitting book by Gina, Renee, Dunham? Not sure how to pronounce that, apologies. And why I bought this book? It's because I have read this one back to front. I have read this one fully, I have finished it, and I realized that this one I will really not be able to reference it as I wanted to, which is read once through it and then when I need, go through. Because the way this book is structured, so I'm kind of like letting you know what's in it, and then you can decide for yourself if that's a good option for you. It was interesting to read through. I'm happy I've read it. But the way this works is that it is not diagnosing a problem and giving you the solution. It's fitting through different garment styles. So for example, we're going through all the bodices, and it's going to say, okay, now we are going to fit a raglan sleeve, and she has a model and she's fitting on this model, but the model could happen to be small busted, have a rounded back, have wide hips, who knows. We're fitting the raglan sleeve on this person, and then she arrives with a princess seam and she has another person. And I think what she wanted was to show the process that she does with everything, but what this really doesn't give me is, if you encounter X, do Y. If you encounter this, do that. And this is what I needed. So here it's like, okay, it's great. You follow her through fitting a ton of garments. Great. And it is helpful in the sense that if you have a princess seam, you might understand a bit better how to adapt it. But it doesn't give you, if you have a sway back, do this. If you have this, do that. I don't know. The only moment in the book where you get a little bit of that is for pants, because there she has a chapter that's called Body Type Examples, but that's literally like 10 pages of the whole book. That's this section here between my fingers is the part about body type examples. So there you can be like, okay, you have flat buttocks, how do you fit that? You have this, how do you fit that? Great. But like the whole rest doesn't give me the problem and solution system that I wanted, and also it's all pictures in this book, and I personally find it sometimes quite hard to see what's going on between one photo and the next. And also you always see the models, but sometimes I need to see what you have done between the two to solve the fact that this is not really what I was hoping for, or like interesting in its own right, but that I would need more. I got the fitting book, and in the fitting book you have stuff like, if you have this is what you do. And the drawings are really clear, so hopefully I'm going to have good things to say about it. I'll also let you know, like I'll read through it and I'll let you know if I confirm that it's good. But for me, I see it a bit better on the drawings than on the photos in this book, where you have to read the text and then just like, yeah, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. Here it's a drawing, it's pretty simple. Very excited to sink my teeth into this one. I will have to prioritize because I can't read all of them at once, but I'm very excited for this one. I'm very happy I got it. Again, this was a bit of an extra. The only ones I was planning to get were the ones I'm going to show you now. But as I was reading this, I was like, it's not really cutting it. I want another fitting book, so that's why I got the fitting book. Okay, finally, I have got patterning books, 4 of them, and I will just remind you, this is the one I had so far, and I thought that it was really good. Honestly, if you want to get one book that's not too expensive, that doesn't take too much space, that has a lot of everything, this was great. Then I thought, okay, I want to treat myself and I want to get more information and to dig deeper into all of those topics, and so I got those 4 books which are basically, the 4 chapters here, but divided, each chapter becomes a whole book. I have a really bad news for some of you, which is that this book does not exist in English. So the writer is Harumi Maruyama, and she's Japanese. So the books, as far as I could find, have been translated into French and German. So if you're German, lucky you, because you can also have access to them. But otherwise, I could not find a translation in English. So I have 4 books. This one is pattern tops. This one is pattern skirts. This one is pattern pants. And this one, to be honest, I got it just because I was like, I want the whole collection. But this one is pattern dress, which for me, a dress is just a top and a skirt attached together, or an extended top. I don't really think I needed this one, but I was like, am I the only one who would have been like, I just want the whole set, because otherwise it doesn't feel complete? So I got those 4 books, and I again need to properly look into them. But basically what you get with them is a block which comes with the book from size, so it's European size 32 to 48, and by European size I probably mean French sizes, because French size is smaller than, for example, Belgium or Germany. So first, it's a ring binder, so it's very comfortable to be able to just keep everything flat next to you while you work. But what you get is the blocks. You also get, I believe, the explanation on how to make the blocks. Here we are. So they also tell you how to make your own block if you want to. So there's the blocks planned in here, but then there's also just create your own block. So that I quite like, to be able to create my own. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I'm like looking at this, I'm like, oh joy. So that's in the intensive course section of the book. So in short, this makes you create the block, or you take the block that comes at the end of the binder and gives you lots of options to modify them. I mean, in short, it's the same as this. You have a flat pattern and it's all the transformation you can make. I'm sure it is also very similar to this. I mean, except if like no one is interested at all, but if you guys want, I can definitely give you a feedback on those 4 here and then the 2 other books here, to see after reading them what I think. Because obviously I talked a lot about perfect fitting, and now that I have read it, it wouldn't necessarily be the book I would recommend for fittings. So please let me know if you are interested in the follow-up about all of my books. And actually I wanted to talk about another book. I have listened to Kelly Bishop's, I think it's called The Third Gilmore Girl, her memoir. I loved it so much. So if you don't know Kelly Bishop, she plays the grandma in the series Gilmore Girls, and actually that's the only thing I knew her from. But her memoir were amazing. If you do not love Gilmore Girls, especially, like, it's a tiny chunk of the book that's dedicated to Gilmore Girls, and it's not a Gilmore Girls fandom thing, you know, it's not like all about Gilmore Girls, even though the title is about Gilmore Girls. But actually she was going to call it At the Ballet originally, which leads us to she had a career on Broadway. And like, maybe if you live and grew up in the English-speaking world, you know that, but I didn't know that at all. She was in A Chorus Line. I'm gonna try to not spoil the whole thing for you, but like, she was part of how it was written, and I loved it. I loved it so much. I did not realize I cared about her career before Gilmore Girls, but I loved hearing about it. I loved that the audiobook is narrated by her, so you really have the experience of having her voice in your ears. The book is like just under 7 hours, I believe, and I read it in like 2 days. I was sewing and I had one full sewing day when I almost listened to only that, and then I took her on my run the next morning, and then that was the end of the book. I really like her vision on luck and on how lucky she was, and speaking about the luck of being able to live of your passion and everything. And then she also says like, it's never too late. You could like start evening classes, you know, it's just really being encouraging about like, if you want to do something, go for it. Most of it is just her memoir, but I found the end so motivational, and I was running as well, so I was like listening to her being like, you can do anything, and I was like, yeah, this is really great. And she also spoke about not being sad about what you've lost, but being happy that you had it in the first place, and so many things. I found it such an inspirational book as well, by, you know, the end part so inspirational, and the start I just loved it. I just found that it was a very good companion to sewing and walking. So I highly recommend, if you are interested and if you like memoirs that are read by the author. I really enjoyed this one. It's another week and I am totally blocked all of my back. It's something I do a lot for some reason, like really hurting all of my upper back. It's very painful. It's not super fun. I did this yesterday at the pool, so not while being an athlete or anything. I was putting my swimming cap, and by putting it, I kind of like, I guess, pulled on my neck and blocked everything. I went in the water. I couldn't swim because I couldn't like look up if I was doing breaststroke, and if I was trying to do crawl, I had to kind of like shuffle my whole body. It was not great, so I just waited in the shallow pool until Francesca was done with her swimming. So that was yesterday. Spent a horrible night, because if you know, when your neck is blocked, every time you want to turn, it's painful. What best thing to do when you are in this sort of pain is to pick up your 40 rolls of tracing paper, isn't it? So looking at the size of the box on the shipping information, I thought it would fit in my trolley. It did not. So what I did, I put 30 rolls in there and 10 were still in here. And what actually happened is that the shipment was shipped to my house. Literally, it was one of those frustrating times. I was there all morning. I was there for most of the time it was supposed to be sent. I left and it was shipped just as I had left. Normally, they leave the parcel with a neighbor. Here they didn't do it, which meant that I had to go all the way to the post office. Did they leave it to the usual post office that's near my house? No, they send it at the end of the world. So I had to carry all of this. Sorry, Milo interruption, but every time I'm filming is like making the most of the fact that I'm there and clearly have nothing better to do than cuddle. And yeah, for the person who said that they really like Francesca's plant here, they knew the proper name. I don't know the proper names, I'm sorry. The plant is having lots of babies. Milo has broken some of the plant when he goes and lies near there, so now we have little propagation. Not the topic of today's conversation. I was saying it was sent to the end of the world and I had to carry that all the way home, and that was not the most fun thing in the world, but at least it's done. And I don't know if you want to do like long-term bets. So I have only a little bit left on my current roll of tracing paper. So I'm going to start those very soon. God, I hope they're nice because I now have 40 rolls of them. So if the paper is crap, I will hate life. So I have 40 rolls. I vote that I will take 40 divided 8 years. Is that crazy? Did I really buy so many rolls? I estimate that I will take, okay, let's say I'm going to use a little bit more because I'm going to do more. Let's bet that I can't say 8 years, that's too crazy. It's just that those rolls are also bigger than the ones I can buy from the haberdashery, so I'm kind of like comparing with how many I buy from the haberdashery, but those are bigger as well. I'm going to say I'm going to take 6 years to use the 40 rolls. Maybe it's going to be more than that. So there are 10 meters on 1 meter if you want to bet. So let me know if I'm still around in 8 to 10 years. I will let you know if you won your bet or not. Cast your vote publicly. You can't edit the comment, otherwise it's no longer valid. How many years do you think it's going to take me to use all of those rolls? So I thought I would make the most of this baking moment to chat a little bit with you. I have a lot of thoughts in my head. It's a little bit jumbled, but I thought, what a better moment to kind of lay it all out and just say random stuff. After all, we're baking, we're having a good time. Firstly, I am baking the cardamom buns from Cupcake Gemma, and I started this. I was really like, I'm going to follow the recipe to the letter. I'm going to do exactly perfectly, and it's going to end up perfect, but I can't bake to the letter. It is beyond me, and I realize it's my hobby to bake, and if I don't want to do it to the letter, I won't. And so it was kind of funny because I was hyping myself up at how perfect I would make this. And I think step one, I was like, yeah, no, I can't do this. Like first, I hate using too many pots and pans and then using a different thing to proof and everything. I'm very economical in what I use when I bake because I don't want to do too much washing up. Second, my set of electric scales have broken at the moment, and I was like, I can probably make it do with just like cups. And then I have kitchen scales, like a more like vintage looking kitchen scales, and I was like, it's going to work. I realized there's the little issue of the yeast. Like you can't really measure 4 grams of yeast on those more vintage style scales. But you know what? I mean, next time I think I'll look exactly how many teaspoons that is. And I think I can make it work with like spoons and cups and stuff and not buy a new set of electric scales. I really liked my previous one. I got them 10 years ago when I was really, really into baking. So I guess 10 years for a set of scales is a good time. This is absolutely not what I want to talk about. So why are we talking about scales that much? In any case, I just wanted to say, I think I have put a little bit too much yeast into those. That's going to affect the future. What didn't really work, outside of probably putting too much yeast in them, is that it was nearly 30 degrees in my house on that day. Like our apartment gets pretty warm. Great for proofing because literally my whole house is a proofing drawer, but so actually everything felt a little bit too wet. And oh my god, I've already been talking for 3 minutes and I have not said anything I wanted to say. One, if you're around here watching those monthly vlogs, thank you so much. I hope you're having a good time being here with me. It makes me so happy every month to make those, so a massive thank you just for being around. I think it's great. I'm really grateful to have you. I find it really weird as a creative how looking around is really what steals your joy. I generally feel really, really happy about everything I'm creating, about my own journey, about the progress I'm making and the progress that's left to make. I feel like knowing that the road is not over, that it's not the end of this journey, that there's still plenty to learn. I find that really great to think like there's so much left. It's not the end. But then sometimes I look at Sosteen or I look at Frida Leopold and I just find that what they're doing is so beautiful. It's hard to stay in your lane, keep looking at what you are doing and be happy with what you're doing when other people are doing so beautiful things. I don't know if you have that as well. And I don't know, I mean, I guess that's just being human. You know that comparison is the thief of joy, but it really is sometimes. And just I feel like I should be better. I feel like I should be doing more impressive stuff. I don't have a conclusion for this. I just wanted to share that I do realize that when I just concentrate on my own craft and on everything I'm doing and on everything I'm hoping to do one day, I feel really happy. And when I look at what other people do, I feel really low because I feel like they're all doing better than me. And if you're feeling like that too, well, that's something we can share. If you hear the dog now, he has just arrived and he's sitting next to me while I record this for you. Well, I just wanted to end this with, I'm so excited for the new year. I'm curious to see how school is going to go. You might know I'm not all positive about it, but I'm all hope about it. I really hope it's going to work out. And if it's not, it'll be fine. But I'm just curious. I'm curious what September is going to be like. I'm just excited for the future, for the potential. It's hard for me sometimes to not know exactly where the road is going, but the road looks so good. And I have a bit of, because I don't know, I wouldn't consider myself a pessimist, but I realize the start of the new school year looks so good for me. I can't really believe it's going to work out, or I can't really believe it's going to be true, because I'm like, I can't be this lucky. I'm kind of getting lost in my thoughts at this point, so I'll end this section here. I want to show you my lovely buns. Gosh, that sounds wrong. I did add a touch of cinnamon in there because I know that Francesca prefers them with a touch of cinnamon and not just the flavor of the cardamom. And I put a lot of cardamom in there, but to be honest, it could be even more cardamom. So I think I'll try to boost the cardamom flavor in the future. And I have to say, they were really nice and crispy, so I was really pleased about that. So not perfect, but I would still call this a successful bake.